So, we got a lot of cops in this world, and one of them has just been picked for VP.
Can I get a cop here, please?
Yeah, I'll get you a cop. Joe Biden announced his VP pick today. This is filmed on the 11th, posted on the 12th. And a lot of progressives, of course, aren't happy because we have brains and we know what's going on. And the right wing went crazy. But I think it's good to talk about what this means. And we're going to do maybe 2 or 3 parts here. But I just want to get a reaction from our guest. He was here today, again. We just filmed some videos and posted them. If you haven't watched those, go watch those. Those are the critiquing the cancel culture and the talk about the deficit. So, Naeem, welcome back. So I want to know, how are you, first of all?
I'm doing well. I mean, as well as we can be doing in this pandemic, economic, social crisis. I don't know what we call it anymore because everyone's experiencing something as a result of this mess. So, I'm holding up well, I guess is the right way of putting it. And yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm doing all right. I had McDonald's for dinner tonight. First time in a little while. Not too bad. Not too long. Messed up our order, but gave us extra fries, so that was good. But, I wanted a large soda. But anyway, so, Kamala Harris is VP. Let me see your excitement.
Woohoo, yeah. I mean,
cops. Yay, cops. Yeah, cops.
I think Christo Avalos puts it best. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. I like it.
But all kidding aside, she checks all the identity politics boxes. She's a woman of color. She's a black woman. She's a woman of South Asian descent. She's a woman who achieved success on her own merits, quote unquote, of course. She's she made it here. She's the daughter of immigrants, she checks all the boxes, right? So identity politics, folks, you guys are probably celebrating. Cheers, right? But no, I think this is a horrible, terrible letdown for the progressives. I mean, not as bad, I guess. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Not as bad as Susan Rice. If Joe Biden had mentioned Susan Rice, I would have gagged in my mouth. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of disappointment and a lot of this is just going to be another 8 or, God forbid, 12 years of continued neoliberal policy. It's Joe Biden's last-ditch effort, last attempt to solidify his and Obama's and Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton's neoliberal policy be the backbone of the Democratic Party. And remember, he did say he wanted to restore the fabric of the soul of this country or whatever he had.
I got some fabric right here I could use.
That's the soul he's talking about, that neoliberal idea. And I guess he wants to be the bridge to the Pete Buttigiegs of the world, but before Pete Buttigieg can take the mantle, he'll have to hand it from himself, Joe Biden, to Kamala Harris, and eventually it'll get to Pete Buttigieg, maybe 12, 16 years from now. So looking way out into the dismal state of the future. No, I think Kamala Harris is a neutral and expected pick. It wasn't too surprising, but I did get a little hope when I heard that Karen Bass, her name was moving up the list this time last week or the week before.
Yeah, I think my reaction is, of course. And I'm not happy. This has pushed me more towards not voting for Joe Biden. It has actually made me hate Joe Biden even more. You've got the author of the crime bill, the co-writer of the Patriot Act, the person who pushed Ronald Reagan to the right on the war on drugs, the person who wrote helped pass the bankruptcy bill with Orrin Hatch, former Republican senator from Utah, and he was known as the senator from MBNA, which was then a credit card company acquired by Bank of America later on, because he always sided with the credit card bureaus. Then you have forget all the identity politics, but you've got a woman who is the cop of the Democratic Party, one of them, besides Val Demings, and we're going to talk about this in other videos, but I just wanted to mention to the viewers the little that
sorry to interrupt, arguably the worst cop. You could say Kamala Harris is worse than Val Demings in ways.
In ways, yeah, but I think in most ways that because Val Demings was a police chief, she was worse. We can have a discussion at one time about it, but
indeed,
so much with the Democrats. But she prosecuted parents because their kids didn't go to school. She didn't take into effect that maybe they're minorities and they're single moms and they can't really be home to take care of their kids, but that's fine. She laughed when a reporter asked her about legalizing marijuana because her opponent said they would. She hid, or she would not turn over evidence that would have released an innocent man from prison until a court made her do it. You've got someone like that as his vice president.
Judicial malpractice when it came to potentially prosecuting the biggest white-collar crime in California at the time of her prosecutorship, One West Bank, and Steve Mnuchin, who's currently Trump's Treasury Secretary. I don't know if there's a relationship there, but we see that she had been tough on blue-collar crime, and we'll get into this with another financial relationship we'll elaborate on later. But a blue collar crime, she's all tough, right? But when it came to Steve Mnuchin, when it came to white collar crime opportunities to prosecute, she sort of just whatever, let it happen. I'm pretty sure that's judicial malpractice or some sort of malpractice in the legal world.
Yeah, and Joe Biden said, she was good with the big banks. How, Joe Biden? She let the big banks get away with a bunch of crap, just like you did, Joe Biden. Oh, yeah, and, she, let's talk about some of her recent votes. I know she voted to give people $2,000 a month. I know she voted, what was the other thing she voted on?
So she voted, she co-sponsored. She co-sponsored Bernie Sanders' bill with Ed Markey on the $2,000 through the pandemic, and there's details about that. She had been, I don't know if she's since removed her name, I don't know, but she did sponsor Bernie's Medicare for All bill. But she also recently voted against Bernie's amendment, Bernie's provision to reduce by an incremental 10% the Pentagon budget. She voted against that. She voted with the Republicans and other corporate war hawk neocon Democrats.
Yeah, so I really want to go off on people like my friend Adam and others. This woman voted to not take $74 billion out of a $750 billion stupid budget that went to defense contractors and the military-industrial complex. She voted to not cut that by 10% to help you, to help people like me and you. I don't know, maybe for jobs, maybe for infrastructure. She didn't do none of that. She voted against that. And to all those who say, she's going to be good for our country, she's going to make young people proud. How in the world is she going to make young people proud? Young people got screwed because of her vote. Young people got screwed in California because of a prosecutorial record. I should learn how to speak. and this lady, who's now potentially going to be vice president, she's not going to make change. There's no $15 minimum wage coming. Maybe that's the modest thing. There's no legalizing weed. People, Kamala Harris. They say Kamala Harris might make him do it. Where did you get that? Where? The lady laughed about legalizing marijuana.
When she was asked whether she had consumed cannabis ever, I think she had responded that yes, she had in her college days listening to Snoop Dogg and Tupac, and neither of the two were around producing music at the time when she was in college, so her life collapsed on itself, but that was hilarious.
Hilarious. Like, Kamala, you're 55 years old. Snoop Dogg is like in his 40s.
10 year difference. Now, I will want to give her the benefit of the doubt. She did sign on to Bernie's Medicare for All bill, but let's look at that, because when she was asked about Medicare for All while she was running for president here,
she flip-flopped.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I would support it. Then all of a sudden someone must have whispered in her ear and she took her words back or shifted them around. And I think that's evidence that she's going to go where the winds take her. She's going to go where her donors tell her to go.
Yep.
That's why she's a safe bet for Wall Street. That's why she's a safe bet for those big corporations, for Hollywood. That's why she's a safe bet for all those left-leaning liberal billionaires. Because there are two types of billionaires. There are two types of the wealthy elite. You got the right-leaning, conservative, staunchly pro-Israel war hawk billionaires. I'm talking the Sheldon Adelsons of the world. And then you got the more liberal-leaning, identity politics, woke culture type of billionaires. I'm talking Howard Schultz from Starbucks. I'm talking, George Soros. I'm talking Tom Steyer. Those types of billionaires. So you got the two types. Like I said, you got the Adelsons and the Koch brothers. I think there's only one Koch brother around now. And those are the Republican conservative billionaires. And then you got the Tom Steyers, the George Soros. But those types, they're all really united in one aspect and on one cause. This class warfare, and to keep the working class down and to make sure they're never taxed. It's their greed. It's their hunger. So regardless of whether you're a Sheldon Adelson or you're a George Soros, ultimately, principally, you guys are the same. Avoid losing your grip on wealth and power, your plutocracy, your rapacious hunger and greed to consume as much as you can and leave nothing, not even crumbs if you had that power, to everyone else. Keep that 1% up and the 99% down is basically what they want. And Kamala